Live from a strip club with Santa's reindeer, it's the Socially Awkwards podcast. I am Mac Frost, and he is the Branta Claus. Welcome to the pod. Today is all about Christmas. Today we'll be talking about everything Christmas, Christmas foods, Christmas movies, the stress of gift giving, and so much more. But first, we should acknowledge that today is officially Festivus. And as we've discussed so many times on this podcast before, we are huge fans of the hit show Seinfeld, so we thought it'd be a neat idea to honor the show by celebrating in a Festivus ritual, the airing of grievances. We will each discuss how much something in our lives has disappointed us in the past year, so this ought to be fun. But first, before we do that, let's just check in with Branta Claus and see if he's got his list and if he's checking it twice. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I do have my list. I think I've checked it 4 or 5 times now, so a little more than twice, but I'm feeling good and I have my grievances and I'm ready to air them out.
All right, yeah. You are a very meticulous person, so I would figure that you would check that. You're very anal retentive when it comes to that Christmas list.
Yeah, sometimes what's the opposite of retentive?
I don't know. You got me at a loss.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, I'm going to be honest with you right now and tell you that I couldn't even define retentive for you. I know what it means.
Yeah.
It's like one of those words where you kind of know what it means when somebody says, but defining it's a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
But
I think it's like a word for tight or something like that. So,
yeah, I guess it could be like a tight ass, but that doesn't
yeah,
seem
that's
like,
probably it. That makes sense.
I mean, it doesn't, I don't know. I thought that was more with money, like where people would be like, oh, he's a tight ass, he's cheap. Or maybe that's just cheap ass. I don't know. There's a lot of ass sayings with ass in them.
There certainly is. Yeah, and I'm not going to Google it, so we're going to go with that.
Yeah, it's probably best not to Google anything anal, so Google doesn't remember that. All right, well, I've got 3 grievances. You've got 3 grievances. Mr. Branta Claus, tell us your first grievance.
My first grievance is this has to do with scheduling and more my personal schedule, and I think this pertains to other people. But and I heard somebody say this in a I don't know TikTok short the other day, and it just landed so great with me. But they said that my free time is not my availability, and it really struck a chord with me because flexible schedules for some people just means that you're always available to them. And and that's my grievance. I want to take back the idea that I have scheduled free time. I have time where I don't know what I'm doing and it's scheduled that way. And it doesn't mean that I want to fill it with something that you get to fill it with, or even that I want to fill it with. I just want to have time where I have nothing to do and it's on purpose. And I want to bring that back. And so that's my grievance. I feel like we've gotten away from that and too often. And it probably comes from a culture of us feeling like we always got to be doing something because, you get social media, you're always keeping up with people and it just feels like you always got to be busy. You always got to have plans. There's always FOMO. And so I'm going to say no to all that. That's my grievance.
All right. So you just want time where you can do nothing. You don't want people like, I get it. I think that's a great quote from that specific TikToker. Yeah, I agree with that. When just because you've got free time doesn't mean it's their free time. It's still your free time.
Exactly.
Right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, mine's going to be not quite as, I don't know, philosophical as yours, I guess I would say. I'm disappointed in you, cereal. I don't know what kind of dye you're using these days, but man, does it change the color of my shit when I eat certain brands. When I eat Lucky Charms, my shit is green. When I eat Honeycomb, my shit is yellow. When I eat Frankenberry, my shit is pink. And when I eat Fruit Loops, my shit is blue. Now, as much as I want to combine all these cereals in one bowl and have my way with them just so I can poop out a shit rainbow, I won't because, frankly, I hate when my shit looks like a multicolored swirl of Play-Doh. Do better, cereal, because I'm not laughing anymore. Do you have any grievances with cereal?
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
I feel like the dye is way different now. I don't know what it is, but when I was a kid, I could eat Lucky Charms all the time. It used to be my favorite cereal, and I wouldn't have greenish, bluish shit. And now all of a sudden it's like, I'm like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I think my main grievance probably comes with, I think maybe it's a broader thing, but I'm going to start with Rice Krispies. When I was a kid, Rice Krispies was always the cereal where I was always disappointed on how not sweet it was, but it always felt like I would add a little bit of sugar to it. And suddenly it's like, I'm just eating just tablespoons of sugar. And it always felt like it was really easy to overshoot that. Yeah. And I just wanted to sprinkle it with a little bit of sugar. So but it's not just Rice Krispies. There's a lot of cereals as a kid where it was it wasn't sweet at all, but then you would try to make it sweet on your own and it'd be way too sweet.
Yeah.
So I have a grievance with that. It's can't these companies just like companies got to add, they got to add a bunch of sugar, or they got to add like no sugar and make it healthy. But like sometimes I just want like, just give me like 10% sugar, like just a light dusting of sweetness, and that's enough.
You want
But it's
something
got to
in
be all in.
between cornflakes and frosted flakes.
That's right. Yeah. Why not just
Okay,
make something in between, like, lightly frosted flakes?
I got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
frosted flake like. Yeah, I don't know. That is interesting. I'm all good with frosted flakes. I don't actually eat much cereal that doesn't have sugar on it. In fact, like you know what the worst one that doesn't have sugar is just shredded mini wheats. It's like, what? These are just little pucks of wheat.
Yeah.
It's
The same people
so
eating that are those are the people eating, what's this snack? Triscuit? That the
oh
one?
god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the same people, the same
If
like
you just eat a
psychopaths.
Triscuit by itself, it's gonna like dry your mouth out like 300% first of all, and yeah, it's just not good. You got to have like something with that Triscuit, and even then,
Yeah.
the Triscuit tastes too, I don't know, too good for you. And frankly, we're American, and that's not our style, right? We want it. We don't want
Yeah.
that.
My failing as a kid was opening a box of Triscuits and always imagining they were gonna taste like Wheat Thins.
Yeah, yeah, because wheat
Yeah.
thins weren't that bad. Wheat thins were pretty good
Yeah,
for the
those are
most part.
yeah, those
And
are
they had
pretty good.
flavored
Yeah.
ones that were really good too, obviously. Anything flavored's
Yep.
better. And we
Yep.
do that as Americans. All right, you've got another grievance there. Let's hear it.
Yeah, well, okay, I'm gonna dip my toes back into the, like the psychological landscape here of the way things are between people. So my next grievance is that people, it seems like it's hard to just have a little bit of flaws. So here's my grievance. I'm gonna try to state it in like one nice sentence, is that everything is either a red flag or it's a healing, situation.
Yeah,
It's never just an in between. It's never just like this guy's a little bit, sometimes he acts like a little bit of a jerk sometimes. Or sometimes, you don't like this situation. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a big trauma you're healing from. It's just like, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of confrontation, and sometimes people are just like that.
yeah,
And so I would like there to be more of a spectrum there. So that is my grievance, is that everything's got to be filtered through the lens of like either there's a red flag. Relationships are the same way, right? It's like these are the red flags. It's like, he's a great guy. He doesn't do the dishes that often, but it's like, how does that fit into the whole character of who this person is, And that's what
right.
we should be looking at. So that's my grievance. Does that
It's
make sense to
interesting
you?
because both of your grievances are almost like you just want like middle ground. And then even when you're talking about the cereal, well, not the first grievances wasn't really about middle ground, but the cereal thing, it's like middle ground, right? You're like, I don't want no sugar and I don't want all sugar. Just give me middle sugar. And that's kind of like what you're saying here about just things in general and people in general. So, but it makes sense.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. All right. Well, I'm disappointed in you, AI. Where's my robot girlfriend that I was promised? I'm tired of candlelit dinners with my cats. There's only so much mackerel I can eat before my breath smells like the vagina of a marathon runner with vaginitis. So, where's my robot girlfriend, man? I need someone to watch Stranger Things with and talk about all the kids look 35 now. So, what gives, AI? Where's my robo girl? I'm tired of dancing with my vacuum. I'm tired of French kissing my toaster when it's plugged in. I'm tired of performing cunnilingus on an oatmeal cream pie then eating the remains. So stop disappointing me, AI. Where's my sex robot? I gotta throw away this potato. What do you think?
The eating the remains part was a little bit diabolical, but
It got bad there.
okay, I'm on board. That's okay. I get what you're saying.
Well,
I get it.
I mean, it's the oatmeal cream pie. It's not like my dick was in it or anything. It's just me performing cunnilingus on it, and then I'm like, okay, now I just got to eat this now because it is an oatmeal cream pie.
Yeah, it's just once you do so much, it's like, you're eating
Once you lick it enough,
you're eating your backwash at a certain point.
that
Yeah,
is true.
it
That
gets
is true. But don't
gets a
we
little
drink our
gross.
don't they always say that like the bottom like certain percentage of whatever you're drinking is just backwash?
You know what? I take a grievance with that as a little
Okay. Ooh,
sidebar.
we got a
Like
pop-up grievance.
yeah, this is a bonus grievance.
Yeah,
Is
okay.
that I don't think I have a lot of backwash. I think I drink my 20 ounce
Yeah.
cherry Pepsi, and I would venture that less than 1% of it at the end is actual backwash.
No, and you're
So
probably right. Like I'm just saying that was something. I'm sure you've heard that, right? Where people would say that, but I've never looked it up, and I was like, "Well, is this true?" It was just something where you're kind of
yeah,
like, it's kind of like when I was back in the day when I think they said that you like swallow like 7 spiders like in your lifetime when you're sleeping,
yeah,
and then later on I found out that was like 100% total bullshit, and I was like, "Why?
yep,
Like, why did man? The internet really did help in that aspect, though." All right.
yeah. It was kind of weird.
What
Oh,
is
weird.
you got your third grievance for our airing of grievances? Happy Festivus to everybody, by the way.
I do. I do have my third grievance, and this one's close to my heart. And this has to do with everyone is expected to wake up in the morning and go to bed at night. Okay. So
Mm,
so this is the core of my grievance. And I have a nice little sentence here to sort of sum up part of what pains me so much about it. And it's that when somebody asks, what time did you wake up? It feels like a moral question and less like an informational question. And I would love to dispense with this whole idea. I think that it's like at some point, everybody just agreed that there's one way to exist. And if you exist in a different way, it has some further implication about either your value to society or your state of mental health. But we should just be allowed to wake up. I should be allowed to wake up at 2 p.m. and still be regarded as a highly motivated and successful person.
right.
And so that's my grievance is what's the deal with day night cycles? Let's get rid of it. Let's
The
get rid of it.
damn
Let's just throw it out the
Earth.
window. Let's let people
This fucking
let's
Earth and the sun just fucking our shit up for us.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If we wouldn't need alarms to wake up if it was the natural thing to do.
That
Think
is
about
true.
that. Yeah.
Just, yeah, no, I agree with you. As a person who is not a morning person, I guess you could say I'm a morning person in the sense that I like to stay up to the morning hours, but obviously I don't like to wake up in the morning. But I do remember that, and I think, you know what I think it is? I think it's all those people who have the 9 to 5 jobs and they're just jealous. They're like, I got to get up at 7 again, do all this shit, and then go to work and do it again tomorrow. And I think they're just jealous of the people that have more control, or people like you who have flexible schedules, because your job, you kind of have definitely a flexible schedule because you were just referring to that in your first grievance. So yeah,
Mm.
I think it might be some with that. But then, like, I guess the world, that's how the world works, right? Is like from 9 to 5, which kind of sucks. And it is kind of, I've gotten to the point where like you miss out on some stuff. Like you get up late and then you're like, oh, I guess I can't mail out this letter because the post office closed at 4 or whatever. I wasn't ready, or you can't go do certain things. There are certain places that are only open till like 4 or 5, and then you kind of get screwed out of that. But yeah, I totally
Yeah.
agree with you. We shouldn't be condescended upon because we got up later. It's not like we're doing less. Like, they don't know what we're doing while they're sleeping.
That's
Like,
it. Yeah.
we're usually
Yeah.
watching them
People
sleep through a window, but hey, they don't know that. Well, that's what I'm
Yeah, it's
doing.
like if you get up, yeah, there's an interesting trickery of the mind that happens where if you get up and somebody else is still sleeping, then you assume that you guys got the same amount of sleep and they're getting more sleep than you. And
Yeah.
the more sleep they're getting is unneeded. It's like you completely forget about like what time did this person go to bed. There's often times where I sleep in and I'm actually getting less hours of sleep that night than somebody else who got up earlier than me.
Oh
And
yeah.
but they'll just be like, "Hey, if they call you a name like Sleepyhead or something," and I'm like, "Actually, I'm really running on like 5 hours. Thanks that you just got me up at like 10 a.m. Now I've only got like 5 hours of sleep,
Right.
and
Right.
and sleep's important. I think getting the amount of sleep is even more important than getting it at just a specific time of day. So there it
Yeah,
is.
and let me double down on that by saying that maybe now, if they calling you sleepyhead, they could be saying, like, it could mean the other way too, like, hey, you're a sleepyhead, like you need more sleep, like you're sleepy. But I get it, like they could also be saying like, oh, you've got a lot of sleep, so you're a sleepyhead. So I guess it could go both ways.
Yeah.
But number one, first of all, in these grievances, we've talked about sleep, which I think is really high up there on the list for your health, your physical health, and your mental health. And I also want to say to those people out there, because my mom used to hate this, she would always be like, I'm never looking at my own poop. And I'm like, Mom, looking at your own poop actually does help, because it says a lot about your diet and your digestive, and it actually helps. Like, it would help, like, if you need something, if you've got to tell your doctor about something, or you've got some issues, they even check it themselves. Not right away. They're not like standing over my toilet or anything after I've kidnapped them. But
I
hey,
have cameras in my toilet that just
oh, that's
feed
good.
into a
Straight to the
yeah
toilet. Yeah, straight. Yeah,
yeah.
that's good. It's good. There might be some lawsuits there, but that's good. All right.
Oh shit.
Here's my third grievance. I'm disappointed in you, Drool. I'm tired of waking up in the middle of the night with lip dribble on my pillow. I'm tired of giving my dog a kiss only to get some extra slime that I have to wipe away with my tongue. You have the consistency of water and blubber at the same time. You're like a plasma of goo that has formed over time in the corners of my mouth, and frankly, I wish you would just get swallowed rather than oozing your way out of multiple orifices. I'm tired of wet spots on my pillows. I'm tired of seeing you bounce up and down out of my dog's mouth like some kind of liquid slinky of slobber. Tired of you drool, and that's why I'm not returning your calls. And while I'm at it, I'm also disappointed in you, eye crispies. You constantly form in the dry aridness of my eyelids while I'm sleeping, only to feel like someone glued my eyes shut when I try to open them up in the morning. At this point, these crispies are so thick and dense that they may as well be called eye biscuits. But at least you keep my eye crispy cereal in business, and for that, I guess I can't complain. So hopefully, my disappointment won't lead me into shame. And that was my airing of grievances on drool and eye crispy. You get eye crispies?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, they can be a bitch sometimes. I get the big ones, man. They form.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
annoying when you go to rub them and they poke into your eye and they
Yeah.
hurt really bad sometimes. Yeah, that's annoying. It's
Some
the
of them
worst.
come out and they're like fucking, well, I'm not going to say marble size because that'd be fucking huge, but they're pretty big. And then, I don't know, it's weird. And then I usually just stick them up my nose and then, I don't know.
Yeah, just kind of store them up for when you need
Yeah,
them.
just to see what I actually want to know if I stick them up my nose, if they just eventually make their way back to the eye. Because everything's connected, folks. Everything's connected. All right, well, that was the airing of grievances. I want to say that I do feel less disappointed now. In fact, I kind of almost feel fully appointed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I think it might really, really work. I did want to say that we also had our feats of strength yesterday, which is another Festivus miracle of things that happened during Festivus. And we were up at the North Pole. We got back pretty fast, which was record time. And Branta Claus was up there, and he wrestled our very own Brandon. He wrestled a polar bear on a frozen lake. Unfortunately, we lost that footage because our producer Bruce Doofer was tripping on acid again, and he threw the camera into a canyon because he thought it was an evil troll making or trying to steal his soul. So it's too bad because it was a masterpiece in human bear fighting, as I had never seen a human just rip a bear's arms off like that. So kudos to Brandon for doing that. I know that you'll be displaying those arms up in your trophy room, and for all those people out there that are going to be pissed off about Santa Claus or about Branta Claus ripping off the limbs of a bear and placing them on his mantle, I just want them to remember that you, Brandon, have the right to bear arms. So it's good.
Okay.
It's good.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't have told it better than you did, so there it is.
Yeah. It was a great fight between you and the polar bear. And I think that if we would have had the food, by the way, I don't know if you knew this, but our producer's first name is Bruce. And I just learned that. So it's Bruce Doofer, and he's constantly fucking up. So we might have a new producer come next year. I don't know. We'll have to see how that works. All right. So that was the airing of grievances, and we talked a little bit about the feats of strength. So wonderful time. So for anybody out there celebrating Festivus today, we hope you enjoy that part because that was for you, and that was for all the Seinfeld fans out there. So let's talk a little bit as we move further into this Christmas episode. Let's talk a little bit about the stress of gift giving and the stress of gift receiving. What do you want to say about that?
It is stressful. I like the stress of gift giving to a point. I find this not to be very common amongst the people that I tend to like do gift shopping with. I've learned that I'm more of a browser than most people.
Yeah.
I will go to places that have lots of gift selections, and I like browsing and ruminating over the options and thinking like I could get this for that person, and would they like this? So I think I find that to be a fun experience. I also love I like having the gifts. I like wrapping them. I like seeing all the, little different sized boxes all together and different colors of wrapping. And then I like the process of giving it to someone and then they open it and it's like, and I get to find out if I got them something that they actually did like, or if I messed up that year, and there is stress with that. But I think overall, I enjoy that process, and I might enjoy it. I don't know if I enjoy it more than most, but more than maybe most of the people I know.
Are you a good gift wrapper?
I've had people say that I was.
All right, so you've got a little bit of a skill there because I do believe that's a skill. I'm
Yeah.
horrible at it. Mine just looks awful, but I'm always on like the thought process of, oh, you're just going to rip it open anyways. But I also do like, I've had a gift handed to me that's really well wrapped. And I do like, there is something a little bit more special about that. So it is kind of weird how that
Yeah.
works.
I don't get into like ribbons and bows and stuff like that, but I do like the challenge of putting the wrapping paper on in such a way that like just say it's a box, that it's like perfectly tight against the box, and
Yeah.
that like the corners of it, or like the two ends of the box, have like those perfect little like sort of triangle shapes that the wrapping paper makes when you wrap it up nicely. So I do try to get that sort of picturesque wrap around the box. When it gets more challenging, like if I'm wrapping something circular or oddly shaped or like a pack of socks, then sometimes I just kind of, it becomes more of a Wild West situation and I do the best I can.
I was going to say, because for a minute there, you were actually defining anal retentive
Yeah.
with your story of
Well,
grabbing.
but I feel like anal, not to defend it, but no, you know what? Move on. I'm not, you're
Okay,
right.
you're not
You're
you're
just
not
right.
going to defend it
That's what,
anymore.
no,
I actually don't think there's
you're
any
right.
like.
That's what
It's
I am.
almost like saying somebody's meticulous. There, I've heard where
Yeah.
people will say somebody's meticulous, and it's like a bad thing. And I guess there could be a point where it is a bad thing. But for the most part, when I hear meticulous, I'm like, well, that just means they're very like in tune. Like they're. It almost seems like a smart thing to be in a way.
Yeah. Well, okay. So my defense of it was that is that I do it as sort of a meditation. It's like
Oh
I
yeah.
enjoy the process of trying to perfect it, wrapping like a box, of just getting a perfect wrap on it. And it's not necessarily out of fear or out of like a sense of control or power or anything like that. It's just out of like a meticulous, but like a meditative meticulousness that I like it to be is, a nice and perfect box.
And
So
may I ask what
that's my defense.
your beef is with bows and ribbons? You got a beef with those, or you just don't? You just like we don't need that.
It's a bridge too far. I'm just not interested in it. It's too
You got name tags though,
like
right? Like, do you
I've
have
got
like little name tags, like so you know who it's for, or do you just write that straight on the wrapping paper, or do you just
I
know?
read it right on the wrapping paper.
Oh, okay.
No,
Or you
I
just like
don't
here's a
know,
bunch of
but I
gifts. You
do.
guys fucking guess whose is
Yeah,
whose.
yeah, you guys. Yeah, that would be no. That's not me. I write names right on it. A big Sharpie, and I'll just write the name of the person right on the gift.
And do you have fancy handwriting?
I don't. It's usually block letters. But
Okay.
I can slow down enough to write it clear and clean. But my handwriting by default is not very good. So I don't have that going for me. Yeah, and just to touch back on bows, yeah, because with the cheap bows, I've tried to use those and those fall off because the little patch of stickiness on it like wears off after like 20 seconds.
Oh
And
yeah.
so and you're stacking gifts. Like also I like to walk in the door and or like if I'm going somewhere and I have gifts, and it's like I want to have like, like 5 boxes stacked. And if you got like bows and stuff, then those are getting
Oh
crunched and
yeah.
kind of moved around.
You are right. Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't really
So
know where to do it.
yeah.
You have to like play Jenga with the gifts just to make sure all the bows are going to be in the right spot. And yeah,
Yep.
that
That's
can be
exactly
kind of
it. Yeah.
tough. Um, how do you feel about Christmas cards? Like I feel like they were big like back in the day, but now with the internet and stuff, it might not be. I'm going to get into a
Yeah.
stat
I'm not a
about
big
them
Christmas
later,
card
but
guy.
what you yeah, I'm not
If
really either.
somebody, yeah, if somebody gives me a Christmas card, I think that's nice and that's fine. But I very, very, very rarely will give somebody else a Christmas card. Or if I do, it'll be for the purpose of putting like a gift card or something like that inside it. But
Yeah.
just a Christmas card by itself is something that I don't really do.
I've never really understood it, and I know like back in the day that people would like get like big old family photos and like make that part of their Christmas card, and it's like I don't. And you just like I guess maybe if you're sending it out to like family that you don't see very often, and they want to see like how the kids have grown or how everything. But like if it's just random people, it's like I don't really get it sometimes. Like just friends, like hey friend, here's a picture of my family, and it says Merry Christmas to you, and I don't know. I'm not big on cards for anything, honestly, because I feel like it's just more commercialization of things. Like, we always got to commercialize everything. And Christmas is one of the
Yeah.
worst, right? So,
Yeah.
do you enjoy, like, so you enjoy seeing the faces of people opening up your gifts? Like, is that something that kind of gives you joy, gives you Christmas joy? I mean, if
A
they
little
like it.
bit, yeah. A little bit, yeah, but it doesn't have to be the performance of them being surprised. I actually enjoy even more, like later in the day or a week later, somebody saying, "Hey, that thing you got me, I love it," or like I use it all the time, or
Right.
I keep playing with it, or just something like that, whatever the gift is. So
Yeah.
I just like finding out that I got a gift that resonates with somebody. So that's really what I'm going for. So yeah, you don't have to be the kind of person who opens up a gift and you're like and you scream at the top of your lungs. That's not necessarily required for me to enjoy it.
And let's talk about like putting on the fake face for a little bit, because now we're going to put you in the seat, because there's both,
Yeah.
right? Like there's the person who you give the gift to, and then they have a reaction, and then you have to be like in your head like, well, was that genuine? And then
Yeah.
there's the opposite where you have to give the reaction when you get a gift, from somebody and you're opening it, and then you have to like, either put on a fake face or maybe not. Like, so what are your feelings about that?
Yeah, I sort of hate that because I don't think I do a good job of reacting to gifts. And I've gotten gifts that I
You should just
really,
look in the
really,
ceiling. Like, you should just look at the ceiling when, like, you should open a gift and just look at the ceiling and be like,
yeah.
like every time.
I've gotten gifts that I really, really like,
Yeah.
and I've actually had to
Tone down.
I felt no, actually turn up my
Oh,
reaction
okay.
because I felt bad that I wasn't matching because like inside, like internally, I'm really loving a gift, but externally, I have a soft reaction, and I'm trying to emote as much as possible to try to convey my true feelings, right?
Yeah.
So this might be a weird. I don't know if this is what people normally do, but yeah, sometimes I find myself having to turn it up, and then there's other times where you get a gift and you're really disappointed and you feel bad and you don't want to hurt someone's feelings, but
Right.
you have to say no. I like it, and then in your head you're doing that like that. The lie detector test when you somebody says like, did you kill him Friday night, and you're like, and you're thinking, well, I'll say like no because in your head like it was 12:01 a.m.
Right. Right.
And you're like, so it wasn't, so it's like that thing where somebody asks if you like it. And then in my head, I'm going, I like that you picked out a gift for me, and then so I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, I love it. I love this. But in reality, it's like the gift itself is not something that I will probably ever use.
Have you ever played it on like too thick? Have you ever put it on like too thick and like later you were like, oh, maybe that was too much, and they know?
I probably have. I probably have. I don't have any specific stories about that, but I'm sure that I have. I mean,
Or
what about you? So I'm interested in hearing your perception of gift giving and gift receiving as well, what we're talking about.
I don't celebrate Christmas like the way a lot of people do. It's not religious or anything. I certainly like celebrated it when I was a kid, and later on we're going to talk a little bit more about that difference between being a kid and an adult. But so I don't really do much. I know my mom when she was here, like she would get like really excited about things. But I could always count on my mom for like regular stuff. Like I knew I was always going to get like a pack of socks, right? Or like a pack of boxers or whatever, like the shit that you like just need but you never really think about. Like cuz I never really buy that kind of shit for myself. I mean, I do when I need it, but usually I'm just not thinking about it. So I don't really get into Christmas, and I don't want to get too much into talking about what we're going to talk about later, but like I think that that's much bigger of a thing when you're around a lot of family and you have like your own immediate family. Like if you have kids, then I could totally see where you're getting into Christmas. Like you're on the reverse end from being a kid and you're like, oh, now I get to be the one to get the gifts and they can be all excited about it. But I do know about the putting on the fake face. I'm gonna have a story here for you in a minute that's gonna be kind of funny that might kind of go with that. But yeah, putting on the fake face. And I have like the problem with the anticipation. Like it depends on the anticipation of the person. Like cuz you can see sometimes if they really think like that they got you a good gift. Or some people would just like my mom would be like, I think I got you a really good gift. And then I'm like, well, don't put too much pressure on yourself. You keep saying in that. And then my mom, like, especially like the last, like, I don't know, 10 years, she couldn't even wait till Christmas. It was the opposite where like when I was a kid, I was waking them up at like 5 in the morning. And then now I'm like, well, I'm going to sleep in till like 2. Like I ain't getting
Yeah.
up. And so my mom will be like, well, I really want you to get your gift. So she'll talk about them. She's like, oh, should I get them for you now? Oh, yeah, I'm going to give them for you now. And then she just give them to me like right then, like a few days before Christmas. I'm like, geez, mom, you really have like, you didn't really, you have like no discipline with that. So, but it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But there is that part where you have to look at their face with you have to be like, okay, how much are they anticipating that you're going to like this? So then that reflects how much of a face you got to put on. And for me, I started thinking about that shit before I even opened the gift. So then you're already pressured, right? You're like, I don't know how I'm going to react because I don't know what it is. I think that for the most part, it is kind of stressful. It is a very stressful thing because you have to navigate that where you're like, well, if it's something you don't like very much, you're like, okay, but you have to
Yeah.
kind of put that face on. But then, I think that like, I don't know, like the last 10 years or so, I feel like I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stop with this horse shit and I'm just going to do the same face for everything. And so it was just always like, okay. I mean, there would be some times where like somebody would surprise me. I'd be like, oh shit, thank you. But it wasn't like a big old spectacle or anything. And plus, I think that if we
Yeah.
deal with like depression and anxiety and stuff, I think we're just not going to have that reaction. We're not going to be as excited, I don't think. So that's just my thoughts on it. I don't know.
Yeah,
But I do want to talk
I
about
get
some
that. What can
stories. Oh, go ahead.
I want to say something real quick on that is
Yeah.
that there's because you touched on something which is early gift giving, which could have been another grievance of mine.
Yeah.
I think my philosophy with gifts, because there's a lot of people that like, there's people in my own house that are like, I can't wait, or like, I just, or tell me, what is it? Give me a hint, or there's like, or maybe you have a gift for somebody else and you're like, I just kind of want to give it to them early. And I think that I want to be done with like, I want to be done with that. What I like is I like waiting until Christmas. And the reason why is because I approach gift giving and receiving a little bit, I think, like how a magician approaches their tricks, which is that, like, if they show it, like you have a trick, once they show you how the trick is done, it loses all the magic. And
Mm.
I think that one of the gifts I'm giving you is not even the gift itself, it's the wonder right beforehand of
Oh,
what is
right.
in
Yeah.
that box. Yeah. That's why I also have a hard time giving gift cards because it's not a box. I like a tactile, sizable thing that's in your hand with wrapping paper around it, and you don't know what it is until you open it. Um, and and so if I give a gift to somebody and they're in the same house and I have it ready, I won't give it to them because I want that between now and then. I mean, I still got a week left of magical wonder for them to be like, what's in that box? And I destroy all that as soon as they open it. And yeah, they
Yeah.
get the gift, but they lose the other gift. So that's another bonus
The
pop-up
sense of
grievance.
wonder. You got to have the sense of
Yeah.
wonder. And yeah, no, I agree with
It's
that.
the
That's
magic.
totally,
You gotta keep the
yeah.
magic alive,
The magic of Christmas. And
Yeah.
you're very close with Santa Claus. I'm pretty sure you still believe in him, right?
Yeah, well, ever since I took care of those bears, I think it kinda helped him out,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, because he was getting attacked. Now we didn't tell that part. He was about to get attacked by those polar bears, and you
yeah,
just ripped those arms off, and it was incredible.
yeah, and they had a couple 12 packs of, like, those glass Mexican Cokes,
Mm.
so I was able to kinda bring
Those are the
those,
good
and everybody had
Cokes.
a good time.
Yeah, those are the real good
Oh, they are,
Cokes.
yeah.
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 We
Yeah,
don't
they
do
are.
we just don't do it in America the same way we used to with the cocaine. Anyways, I want to talk about a couple of stories when I was kids. I kind of got like a wholesome one and a funny one. And then I'm assuming you might have a couple of stories as well, or at least one. But I'm going to talk about and I don't know exactly what year this is. And this is a story that's been told by my parents ever since that year, but I 100% don't remember it. So I'm going to say it was probably when I was like 3, 4, or 5, maybe. It was probably around, not to date myself, although I do every night, 1986, 1987, somewhere around then. And my parents got me, I don't know if you remember the My Buddy doll, but my parents got me the My Buddy doll. And they said that for weeks, and I'm assuming that this was just a commercial. They used to have the commercial and it would be like the song would be like "My Buddy and Me" and like get the My Buddy doll. And so I'm assuming they just ran this commercial like crazy on TV and I kept saying I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. So and they have the story where they're talking about like it took them forever. They couldn't find it. It was like the jingle all the way type story. Like I can't find the gift I want or whatever. And they finally found it and they were really excited because I'd been asking about it and asking about it. And then apparently, when I opened it at Christmas, I freaked out and I threw it. And I was like, I don't want that. And so they say that story all the time. And it's just a funny story. And I'm going to say, I don't remember this, but it's hilarious just to kind of think about it now. Obviously, they were probably frustrated at the time. But I also wonder, because I was talking to my stepfather about this a couple of days ago. And I also wonder, I'm like, well, I don't know when Chucky came out, but they did. I do remember reading something where they were talking about how they kind of mirrored the Chucky doll off the My Buddy doll. And the My Buddy doll kind of does look a little bit like a Chucky doll. It's kind of freaky. So I was like, well, maybe maybe the movie was out or something around that time and they were showing like the trailer or bits of it on TV and maybe that freaked me out. I don't know why that happened, but it was just funny. And then a few years ago, my mom actually found a My Buddy doll and got one for me for Christmas as kind of like, hey, this is remember this kind of thing. So that's just kind of a funny story with kind of going back to like reacting. And I feel bad when I would always hear that story, but they would tell everybody that story. So I probably heard it like 50 times in my lifetime. And after a while, I was like, okay, you can give it up. Just enough with that. But I do feel bad because I can only imagine being a parent and looking everywhere for something that your child's telling you every day they want and to be so excited and to only see him like freak the fuck out and be like, no, I don't want this anymore and throw it across the room. Like, if I were a parent, I might have cried. I might have been like, oh man, geez, like just the frustration of it all. So I do feel bad, but it's like, I don't remember it. And it's crazy. And then before you get to your stories, you have a story, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, I have a story.
Okay. I just want to say one more wholesome story that I had about my stepfather, because my stepfather and I, when we were young, we didn't really get along, and he was kind of the disciplinary, and there were certain things that he did that I would say are probably nowadays are definitely would be shunned upon. In 1993, he had a really good year. Like he had a really good year financially, and they were doing really well. And he got me the SNES, the Super Nintendo. And I remember staying up, and I was talking to him with him, and we can't remember if we did it on Christmas night or on New Year's night, but we stayed up till like 3 or 4 in the morning playing Super Mario World until we beat it. And it's just like this really wholesome story. The unfortunate part about that story is that he had such a great year. He got all that stuff. And then in February 4th of 1994, literally, 40 something days after Christmas, our house burnt down. And, and then it was kind of, then things got kind of shitty. But there was that wholesome moment where I do always remember staying up with him and, playing that game. And it was just kind of fun. So what are some stories that you might have from being a kid?
Well, I have one main story queued up. This has maybe some. Well, I don't know if there's some similarities there. This was in the mid '90s. I don't remember the exact year, and I was at my father's house, and my father was. So my brother and I would visit my father on the weekends, and because him and my mother were divorced, and he was always a little bit more, I don't know, like in a financial position to like, he just worked all the time and kind of lived alone most of the time. And so during Christmas time, there would always be like, he would always get us a couple gifts that were always really exciting, and I'd look forward to it. This was before Christmas, and there was one day where him and my brother were downstairs doing something, and I came flying down the stairs as a little kid really fast, and I popped around the corner, and I caught a glimpse of him holding a box, and he was showing my brother, and I instantly knew that it was supposed to be a gift for me and that I had spoiled it. And I remember feeling like, and the gift was a keyboard. It was like some sort of keyboard or
Did they
something like
see
that.
you, by the way?
Which at
Like,
that time,
did they see
yeah,
you
they
like
did. Yeah,
okay.
They saw me, and he reacted. He was like, "Oh," and then he put it back real fast.
Right.
And I probably only got a glimpse of it for like one, maybe 1 second, if that. But it was enough for me to like, it was burned into my mind. I knew what it was. And I remember that it just had this like crushing feeling. I was so sad. And
Yeah.
for some reason, I was like distraught, like crying over it. And they were consoling me. They were like, a little bit of gaslighting, like telling me because they were like, well, what did you even see? And I was like, I saw, looked like a keyboard. They were like, no, it wasn't even that. It was something else. And so, trying to make me think, like,
The good
second
version of
guess my memory of
gaslighting.
what
I love it.
the good version.
There's a good version.
That's it.
It
That's
kind of
great.
is. I mean, it was for a good purpose.
They were trying to preserve, it's really funny that I'm talking about the story because I hadn't made this connection, but this could be like the genesis of my philosophy around Christmas magic and not spoiling presents.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now that I
Yeah.
think about it. So yeah, but I just had felt so bad. And I don't know why, even as a kid, it affected me so much. Like, why would you feel that? Like, there was like, I was riddled with guilt. And that was why I was crying. So I felt so guilty. Like, this person had, like, they got me the present. It was a really perfect present. And I spoiled it. I ruined everything. I just thought I ruined everything. So that's basically the story. And then when I got the gift, it was what I thought it was. And it turned out to be a keyboard, and it was a MIDI keyboard that plugged into the computer, and there was computer software. So you could like do things like the computer could teach you how
And
to
you're
play
talking
things on it. And yeah,
So
midnight.
this was an expensive gift, most likely, then at that time.
It probably was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was and it was a good gift, and I played with that keyboard all the time, and as much as I could. And but yeah, that was the time that as a kid I it felt like I had ruined Christmas for myself, and it always stuck with me.
Well, I'm glad that we kind of got we got to the reason why you want that Christmas magic. It's almost like you've had like a development, you've had like an awakening here on the show, and I think that's
Yeah,
great
yeah.
that happened.
I'm trying to make up for past traumas, and there it is. It's either trauma or healing. So
Right,
there it is.
right. Everything is connecting today. It is a Christmas miracle,
Yeah,
and I love it.
I know.
All right. Well, in a little bit, we are going to talk a little bit more about Christmas. But I also have a Christmas pop quiz for Brandon coming up in a second. But before we get to that, it's a very important time because it's what time, Brandon?
It's time for our fake sponsors.
Yes, it is. This episode of our podcast is fake sponsored by Myrrh. Are you a wise man who needs a gift for a holy baby? Would you like a fragrant resin from Arabian trees? Maybe you need some bitter tasting medicine, or maybe you just need to embalm some bodies. Then Myrrh is the product for you. Myrrh. Bet you didn't know what it was until now. We are also fake sponsored by Glitter. Would you like to wear something that you can never get off your body for the rest of your life? Maybe you want your wife to know you were at the strip club instead of staying late for work. Or perhaps you would just like to be a giant reflector for car headlights. Glitter has got you covered. Glitter. Throw it on your enemies and run. All right, those are our fake sponsors. By the way, glitter is a
Okay.
bastard, isn't it? It's like one of those things that just stays on you forever. And it's like it's crazy.
Yeah, I think that if I get glitter on me, I think I just accept it.
Right. It's like it's over. You can't get that off. It
Yeah.
eventually it'll work its way
Yeah,
out
I'm
somewhere.
yeah, it's like what is it? It's like a splinter that you can't get out. It's like, well, it's just got to work its way out, man.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I think it's time for
Got ourselves a pop quiz. Yeah, a pop quiz. Do you know what it is? It's a pop quiz. Meow.
all right. Excellent. All right. Well,
All
this
right.
is a Christmas pop quiz for Mr. Branta Claus. And this is just there's some pop culture in there, but there are also some kind of Christmas references and stuff. And as always, I always have a funny answer. Not all porn funny answers today, but just general. Obviously, D is going to be a fake answer, but it'll just be for entertainment purposes. So, as usual with the pop quizzes, I have 10 questions. I'm going to ask you all 10. We'll get your answers. And then at the end, we'll see how well you did. So, Brandon, are you ready for the Christmas pop quiz?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. Number one, Brandon. This song has been a perennial holiday hit since its release by Mariah Carey in 1994. Is it A, Santa Baby, B, All I Want for Christmas Is You, C, White Christmas, or D, Christmas Queef? Great song, by the way, if you haven't heard that one.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're just singing it in your head. Oh, Christmas Queef. Okay, I don't have any.
Yeah, I feel like I should know this one because I've worked enough retail jobs where this has probably been blasting over the radio from like October until
Yeah,
the
I feel
beginning
like
of
every
January.
Christmas it just gets crazy. Like the song is just everywhere.
Yeah. Is it what is B? Is it B?
B is All I Want for Christmas Is You.
I'm gonna say B.
We will put down B.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got to wait till the end to find the answers.
Yeah, yeah.
The magic. You're
I like
keeping
to
the
do
magic
that.
alive.
Yeah, see, I'm keeping the
Yeah.
magic alive. I don't want to give you the answers right away. All right. Number two, in the movie Home Alone, where are the McAllisters going on vacation when they leave Kevin behind? Is it A, London, B, Los Angeles, C, Paris, or D, straight into the Twin Towers?
Jeez.
Yeah, that one got a little dark.
I don't think it's a. Yeah, that was pretty dark. I don't think it's the Twin Towers. Maybe that's how that Home Alone 2 apartment became so destroyed.
That's true.
You know, I think that let's see. This is you're talking about the first Home Alone, right?
Yes.
This is London, Los Angeles, or Paris.
Yes.
I don't. It's not Paris. I'm not going to say it's Paris because I feel like I remember them having to find alternate means of transportation to get home. So I'm going to say it's not. I'm going to say Los Angeles. I should know this. It's too. I feel bad that I don't.
I
This
didn't
is
know this.
Los Angeles was B.
Most of these things, just so you know, I don't
Yeah.
want you to feel bad like if you don't know things, because obviously when I do these quizzes, most of the stuff I don't know either. Like,
Okay, that's good.
so I'm
That makes
like,
feel better.
I mean, usually I'm looking this stuff up every once in a while to be like, oh, okay, that
Yeah.
seems like a good question. All right. Like this next one, I definitely didn't know either. Number three, The first artificial Christmas tree was made from what? A, aluminum, B, goose feathers, C, lizard skin, or D, these nuts.
I'm gonna go practical and say, oh, this is not. Wait a minute, hold on. When did the Christmas tree tradition begin? See, now I need to think about like what was the era that we were in. If Christmas tree started like in the 1900s, then I'm gonna say aluminum. But if
This
it's
is why I
older
didn't
than
give you the
that,
Christmas facts, because I have some interesting Christmas facts later. But I knew I was like, well, if I give him some of the Christmas facts before the pop quiz, that
it's gonna
might
it'll
give him some
spoil it,
answers. I
yeah.
don't know.
Because I could see it being like goose feathers or something. If this is before certain eras of like metal refining, and our ability to collect enough aluminum for this to be feasible. The first Christmas tree. What are the answers? It's goose feathers, aluminum, and what's the third one? I don't need to hear the fourth.
Lizard
even though
skin.
I loved it. Lizard skin.
Which is almost kind of, I don't know. I don't know if that's believable. So
Boy,
really, it's down to
That's
two
gonna be
answers.
crazy. That's goose feathers and aluminum. Yeah. I'm gonna take a gamble and say that Christmas trees are more. All right, eeny meeny miny mo. I gotta flip something. This is
The old coin flip.
okay. I'm gonna go with goose feathers.
Okay.
Because that one sounds fun and it's what the flip said.
All right. All right. You went with B, goose feathers. Okay. So number 4, including Rudolph, how many flying reindeer does Santa have? Is it A, 9, B, 10, C, 8, or D, none, man, Santa's just tripping on acid?
Well, that's actually no.
That could
That
be.
should be the answer.
That should be the answer.
You know, I don't know this. I don't know the names in the song, but I might be able to count the syllables. You know, like on Dasher
Yeah,
and Dancer and Donner and Dixon, Comet and Cupid and Comet and Dixon. But did you know? Was 9 an answer?
There's 9, 10, and 8.
Shoot. Okay, I'm gonna go 9.
9? All right. I didn't know you were going to cheat and use your fingers. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 9. Yeah.
All right. In the, and I had to rephrase this question because I'm not sure if it was only the 2000 movie or if it was in general or if they've even mentioned it. But so I'm going to say in the 2000 Grinch movie with Jim Carrey, what is the name of the Grinch's dog? Is it A, Max, B, Crunch, C, Ralph, or D, Slob Barker?
Slob Barker.
Yeah, it's a great name for a
Spinning the
dog.
wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Showcase Showdown. I think I'm gonna go with Max.
All right. So you're going with A, Max. All right. Halfway
Yeah.
through the quiz. So number
Okay,
6.
got it.
In what famous movie did Kris Kringle have to prove he was Santa Claus in court? Is it A, The Santa Claus, B, Miracle on 34th Street, C, Christmas Town, or D, The Human Centipede?
The Human Centipede. I don't remember these movies real well, and I don't remember like a courtroom scene specifically in any of these movies. So I'm gonna go with the Santa Claus because there's already like legality baked into the name with the word clause, and so I'm just hoping that maybe that is like a clue.
Well, I don't think it's spelled
to what's in the
exactly the
movie.
same. I think they leave the E off in Santa Claus. But no, I like your
Okay.
your way of thinking.
Okay, you're talking me out of it.
No, I'm just saying. If that's your reasoning. I just wanted to point that out. All right.
Well, isn't it meant to be a pun though for the movie title?
Yeah. Well, actually, we get into it later because I think when I have the interesting facts, there's some interesting facts about how that name came about and stuff. So, okay. All right. So you said A, Santa Claus. Number 7. This one's a good one because this one is involving a Seinfeld episode. What part of Elaine's body was exposed on a Christmas card in the famous Seinfeld episode, The Pick? Was it A, nipple, B, butt, C, thigh, or D, nipple toe?
Nipple toe, is that like a mistletoe?
Yeah. You don't want to get caught kissing under that one, though.
Yeah, it was a nipple. Final answer.
Final answer.
Yeah.
All right. Number 8. Which one of these countries does not celebrate Christmas as a national holiday? A, China, B, Philippines, C, France, or D, no, Christmas here, Stan. Great country. Seems like it should be that one, but I don't. But
is that in the Middle East?
Yeah,
I'm just a wild guess.
Yeah,
okay.
It's there's a lot of conflicts happening there all the time.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say it's China.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say China.
All right. Number 9. In the 12 Days of Christmas song, what was given as a gift on the 11th day? Is it A, 11 pipers piping, B, 11 lords a leaping, C, 11 ladies dancing, or D, 11 strangers singing? You gotta love when strangers singing all the time. There's always strangers singing.
Singing? Oh, okay.
Singing.
Yeah.
It's like a guy with a lisp, somebody with a lisp trying to say singing, or
Yeah.
maybe he's trying to say something else.
Okay. 12, 11. Did you say Lords of Leaping or something like that?
Yeah, it's pipers piping, lords a leaping, and ladies dancing.
I'm gonna say Lords of Leaping
Lords a leaping.
because the L's just kind of make sense there to me.
All right, number 10. Which popular Christmas song was originally written as a Thanksgiving song? Was it A, Joy to the World, B, Jingle Bells, C, Silent Night, or D, All I Want for Christmas is My Two Drunk Sheep?
Is it like a
I'll take
Like a
I'll
kind of
take
a-
what men from Montana say, please.
it's a kind of a hillbilly song, I think. Okay. Originally was a Thanksgiving song.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's Jingle Bells. It's Jingle Bells, Silent Night, and Joy to the World.
Yes.
Silent Night, Holy Night, all is calm, all is bright. I'm gonna say no to Silent Night. Joy to the World.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
I should really learn these words.
You didn't learn those on your keyboard, man, back in the day? Hey, you might
No,
have.
I just remember the version that like my older brother or like kids would sing, which is like joy to the world that, John is dead. You something in his head.
Yeah.
We flushed it down the toilet and watched it go round and round. So
Boy. Making a mockery of Joy to the World.
joy to the world that they're all like they all sound sort of like, well, joy to the world is they're talking about Christ as king, right, in the song. So that seems very Christmassy.
Oh yeah, they are.
And Silent Night, round young virgin, mother and child, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep. Silent Night. Maybe it's Silent Night. Silent Night is such a Christmas song to me. But that's the point of the question, is like, which one of these songs that is just such a pure Christmas song? And it's funny that I'm ruling out Jingle Bells. Boy, if it's Jingle Bells, I'm going to flip my lid. I'm going to be so surprised.
You're
if
gonna
it's
flip
Jingle
your
Bells.
lid?
Yeah, I mean, who's got bells jingling at Thanksgiving? I guess, I don't know, Silent Night?
Are you going with Silent Night or?
Isn't Silent Night like a song about like Christ being born or something though? Or am I misrepresenting or like remembering the lyrics?
Silent. Yeah, but I'm kind of like you were. Like I remember like the first few lines, and then I vaguely remember like some other stuff.
I'm gonna say Silent Night. Final answer. Let's go with that.
All right. Are we ready for the results?
Yeah, I'm so ready.
All right.
Tell me how I did.
Number 1. This song has been a perennial holiday hit since it's released by Mariah Carey in 1994 with Santa Baby, White Christmas, and All I Want for Christmas Is You, or Oh Christmas Queef. You said B, All I Want for Christmas Is You. You are correct. 1 for 1. In the movie Home Alone, where are the McAllisters going on vacation when they leave Kevin behind? The options were A, London, B, Los Angeles, C, Paris, or D, straight into the Twin Towers. You said B, Los Angeles. It was Paris. They were going to Paris. And I did, when you started talking about your logic, I started thinking about the movie and I'm like, oh, right. But I think they remembered that they left him behind on the plane, but then I think the plane landed somewhere in the U.S. still.
The layover.
Yeah. And then they got, so I think that was because I liked your reasoning. I was like, well, that's good reasoning, but I think they did because I didn't even know that. I didn't know they were going to Paris. I had to that was just something I found and I was like, oh, okay, that'll make a good question, but just kind of funny.
That's so expensive to drag like a family of 12 to all the way to Paris.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, probably
it
was
was what, really
1990,
expensive.
so definitely
really
cheaper then. But
it's funny because I've heard people talk. You hear people talk about the house they lived in, and like their family. It was portrayed as like this, like I don't know, middle class family. But you think about it, like they really had to be very wealthy to have a family of that size and a house that big, and to take everybody to Paris. I don't think just middle class is cutting that.
I don't remember what the parents even did for a living. I'm
either.
assuming it was mentioned, or at least I don't know if it was even mentioned. I'm not sure. All right. 3. The first artificial Christmas tree was made from what? Options were aluminum, goose feathers, lizard skin, or these nuts. And you said goose feathers, and you would be right. It was goose feathers. First ever Christmas tree. By the way, and I'll probably mention this later, Germany is responsible for a lot of the things that happen with Christmas trees. They were the first country to celebrate with a Christmas tree, and they were the kind of ones that came up with that concept. So the Germans aren't all that bad. For people that want to say that. All right. So you're 2 of 3 right now. Number 4, including Rudolph, how many flying reindeer does Santa have? You had the options were 9, 10, or 8. You said 9, and with 9, you would be correct. So you got
Okay.
that. You're a 3 or 4 right
The
now.
fingers worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fingers
It
worked.
did work. It did work. It worked out. Because I guess if you think about it, it was the even number, right? Because they were paired up in twos, and then Rudolph kind of led them as like the leader in the
Yep.
front. So I guess that would make sense. All right, number 5. What is the name of the Grinch's dog in the 2000 Grinch movie with Jim Carrey? The options were Max, Crunch, Ralph, or Slob Barker. Max, Crunch, Ralph sounds like, well, Max Crunch just sounds like a candy bar, I guess. Max is correct. So you are at 4 out of 5. Let's go to number 6. In what famous movie did Kris Kringle have to prove he was Santa Claus in court? The options were The Santa Claus, Miracle on 34th Street, Christmas Town, and The Human Centipede. Christmas Town might be a movie, but I just made it up, so I don't even know. It sounds like it'd be a movie, though. The answer is actually Miracle on 34th Street, and that's a famous movie for Santa Claus, the real Santa Claus working for a Santa that couldn't work in a mall or something like that. And then at the end of the movie, he's in court literally having to prove that he's Santa for some reason. So just kind of I don't even know how many times I've watched it. The Santa Claus is the one where Tim Allen becomes Santa Claus.
Yep.
All right. Number 7. What part of Elaine's body was exposed on a Christmas card in the famous Seinfeld episode The Pick? The options were nipple, butt, thigh, and nipple toe. And of course, being the number one Seinfeld fan that you are, it is indeed nipple. I'm sure that many Seinfeld fans remember that episode because one of the funniest things was when George kept getting mad at Elaine because he never got a card. And then finally, she's like, you want a card? And then she like takes his head and just like rubs it all over her chest. And then he gets back up and his hair's all crazy. Yeah, great episode. Yeah. All right. So you're 5 of 7 right now. Let's see how you did on the last 3. Which one of these countries does not celebrate Christmas as a national holiday? The options were China, Philippines, France. No Christmas here is Stan. And you're right. It is China. China does not celebrate it as a national holiday. I think there are sections or people in the country that do celebrate it, but it's not a national holiday there. So you are now 6 of 8.
I think that because I knew that the Philippines, I mean, France is more of it's European, which is more Christian centric,
right?
And then Philippines is also like very reverent of like American culture. So I just assumed that would be more likely than China. That was my thinking.
Yeah, because I think the Philippines was was under British control for a long time, right? So I guess that would kind of make sense. In the 12 Days of Christmas song, what was given as a gift on the 11th day? The options were 11 pipers piping, 11 lords a leaping, 11 ladies dancing, or 11 strangers singing. Just a nice reference to Stranger Things there. You said B, lords a leaping, Brandon. Lords a leaping is actually the 10th day. Pipers piping is the 11th day. So you are now at a 6 for 9. Let's giggle to that.
Okay.
Could be 6-7. 6-7. I don't know what any of that's about.
Yeah. You got. Yeah,
I'm doing it wrong. I have to juggle it. Sorry.
Yeah.
6-7. I don't know. All right. We're too old for that shit. Number 10. Which popular Christmas song was originally written as a Thanksgiving song? A, Joy to the World, B, Jingle Bells, C, Silent Night, or D, All I Want for Christmas is My Two Drunk Sheep. Brandon said that he would have his mind blown if it was Jingle Bells, and Brandon's about to have his mind blown because it was Jingle Bells. That's a tough one. Those last 2 were tough for you, so you ended up at 6 for 10 with 60%.
Hold on a second.
All right.
You have to hold on a second. What fun it is to ride on a 1-horse open sleigh. So a sleigh.
Mm-hmm.
A sleigh goes on snow, right?
Yes.
So it's not always snowy on Thanksgiving. You can't guarantee snow.
You cannot. Okay, so let me read something to you. Jingle Bells was originally written for Thanksgiving, not Christmas, by James Lord Pierpont around 1850 as 1-horse open sleigh was the name of the song, celebrating winter sleigh races, and later adopted for Christmas due to its winter theme and popularity. Now, this could be, I don't know where he was at when he wrote this. This could be just one of these things where maybe that winter there was more snow on Thanksgiving and he just wrote about it. But I was very interested when I read that. I was like, oh, this is crazy. And apparently he lived in New England somewhere. So it was in the upper Northeast.
And the song was adopted or adapted to Christmas. So I'm assuming that lyrics changed because there's like, there's oh ho, the mistletoe, right? So mistletoe is a Christmas thing, right? That's not really a Thanksgiving thing. Am I thinking of that's in the right? That's the same song, right?
I don't know because I am seeing that because after I read that it was later adopted to for Christmas due to its winter theme and popularity, it says despite lyrics describing rowdy rides and flirting, not the nativity. And I'm trying to remember. I don't know if you can bring up the lyrics there, but it's like one of those things where we just remember like the main lyrics, and then there's also Jingle Bell Rock, right? Like which is different.
Yeah, and I was mashing up the lyrics to a Holly Jolly Christmas.
Oh, okay.
So, which is, I guess I don't know my Christmas songs. I'm thinking in my head went jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Oh, the mistletoe.
Yeah, I was thinking that it was not that, but like, okay, so so what do we have here? Like dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, over the hills we go, laughing all the way, ha ha ha. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight? Yeah, it really. I mean, I guess you could see where it's not that Christmassy.
That's true. Yeah, I think the jingle bells part feels Christmassy, but it's not explicitly Christmassy.
Right.
It doesn't say, it's not referencing Jesus, and it's not referencing
Jesus,
gift giving. Yeah,
cheddar Jesus.
That's right.
Jesus, I got. Yeah, I was getting hungry.
There it is. My mind's blown.
Okay, yeah, it is blown. Not the best, probably the worst you've performed on a pop quiz. I don't want to rub it in, but I do want to remind people that I didn't know half these fucking answers. Well, probably more than half. I just make the quiz, and then I can act like a big know-it-all when Brandon gets one wrong. So it's fun to do. Maybe one day Brandon will make a quiz for me, and then he can be the big know-it-all. It'll be fun.
Hey, I've given you quizzes, and I felt bad because I felt like they were unnecessarily hard after I'd given it to you. Yeah.
You were like, how does a rocket ship work? And I'm just like, I don't fucking know. Propeller? I don't know. An engine of some kind. All right. Okay. So that was our Christmas pop quiz. I think that went well. Let's get back into, I think we're going to talk about some social scenes and just, considering that we've talked a lot about our own anxieties and depressions and stuff on this podcast, it makes sense to talk about social scenes, spending time with family, even back in the day where I'm assuming you don't have them now because you work from home, but I do remember we could talk a little bit about work Christmas parties and things like that. And so what do you got? What do you got for me with social scenes in Christmas?
Well, yeah, you do have work situations. Last year I had we did like what's called a white elephant gift exchange where you
this was for work?
You provide a gift. This was for work, yeah. And it's where each person has a gift that's worth between like, I don't know, $10 to $30, but you don't know what it is. And you open the gift. So when it's your turn, and each person takes turns, when it's your turn, you can choose to either open a new unopened gift, or you can steal a gift that somebody else has already opened.
Okay.
And you do that, and you can go, you're allowed to go around like so many times. Usually there's a cap on that. And a single gift is only allowed to be stolen, usually like maybe 3 times. That way you don't end up with a situation where one really valuable gift that everybody wants is constantly stolen. And once the third person steals it. So there's a little bit of strategy involved. And that went well. And I almost got a set of something. It was like a honey, like a homemade honey jar set that I was really excited to get, but I didn't quite get it, and somebody stole that from me. So that's the one that got away during the
honey jar. Like, was
it
full of honey?
It was full of honey. Yeah, it was from like somebody's family was like in the honey business, I guess, and so it was like homemade.
And what's
honey.
So significant about honey, Brandon? I'm just going to throw you on the spot again with it's almost like another pop quiz question. But what's so significant about honey?
Sure,
I'm just asking.
Well, I like honey. I think honey makes a really great. It's a great natural sweetener.
Right.
I like making it sweetening tea with it.
But what is like the
I like herbal tea
specific thing about honey that everybody loves? Well, I guess if you didn't know it, if you didn't know this fact,
you're getting to something that I feel like you're getting to something I'm not picking up. Honey comes from bees.
It does.
Honey is sweet.
Bees. And Winnie the Pooh loves to have his head in a honey jar.
Oh, and Winnie the Pooh loves to have his head in a honey jar. And I am Pooh Bear. Yeah. Right. That was one of the things.
I don't think you should be around any bears anymore, just for the sake that you like to rip their arms off. But I think that what I was trying to get at And I will say that I didn't really know this until, I don't know, a couple months ago. Honey is the only thing in the whole entire world that you don't have to store properly, that has no shelf life. It's good forever. It has
Yeah. And
it has no expiration.
I do love that about it as well. I got a jar of honey and it's, it's sitting in my cupboard right now and it has an expiration date of, I think, 2035. And I'm sure that's just slapped on there just to have something on there. Right. But it's cool to even see an official date stamped on there that's
Yeah.
still a decade out.
I think it would
Yeah.
freak people out if there wasn't a date on it. I think that's just how, like, we're used to seeing dates. So I think that's probably why they do it. But yeah, like, it's even cool to see that because you're never going to see something that says good for like 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, most
Yeah. And
canned goods and
especially
stuff are
in,
different. Yeah.
yeah, well, I mean, especially in today's like capitalistic sort of litigious environment, right? Like everybody is lawsuit crazy. And so like companies, I think oftentimes put expiration dates that are probably sooner than they need to be for either for like to rotate product fast or just for the sake of safety, like erring on the side of caution.
Yeah.
So for a company to willingly put a date that's 10 years out means that it makes me feel good about the fact that honey is probably good for another 100 years.
Yeah, definitely. You said that this was called the White Elephant gift exchange. What was it called?
Yep.
Okay. And you obviously you work online. I don't know how much you want to get into that, but were you? So how did you do this? Like, I'm assuming that not everybody lives in the same area as you. If you're working online, I'm assuming they work there. They live all over the country. So how did that like go about?
So we did it over a Zoom call.
Okay.
So because we have many Zoom calls, Zoom meetings as part of as part of company meetings. And so you just get the whole company together. And then we used a third party app or a website that allowed us to sort of like upload a picture and description of what we had gotten.
Oh, okay.
And then the website would scramble it all up and then we could all use it. And when it was our turn, we could, click a selection. And we kind of went through and played it that way.
Crazy, man. It's crazy how we can do so many things now. We don't even have to be in the same room with anybody. Like, we can just, like us
Yeah.
now.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so I guess we were talking about social scenes and parties, and so I guess that would be like considered a party. But did you have a time where you had like a physical like a Christmas work party that you went to? You didn't go to any Christmas work parties?
Nope.
Okay.
No, I have not been to any other Christmas work parties. No.
Okay.
But there's Christmas family functions. I do. Well, let me just bear it out. Let me
God,
reveal all
you're winging that
Christmas
bear term
secrets
today.
There is so I like on Christmas Day, I will visit people that I want to visit. But before Christmas Day, and I don't do this so much anymore, but I used to make visits that were more uncomfortable or more things that like they were fine. Like you go and you do it and afterwards you're like, that went fine. I'm happy I did it. It's fine.
Right.
But before you do it, you really don't want to do it. You really are
Yeah.
not wanting that much to go to this place. And so it used to be that more often I would go to like extended family or extended relatives that I didn't know that well. And there would be like a Christmas dinner there and there'd be a little bit of gifts and there'd be other kids running around that you don't know and other adults that you don't know. And those were always, I never liked those.
Yeah.
Those were always like stressful or, social anxiety flare-ups would happen. Yeah. I mean, do you have similar experiences with that?
Yeah, like I was saying before, like as of like, I don't know, probably like the last 10, 15 years. I mean, my brother didn't even like come over for like Christmas or see my mom or anything like that. He kind of was always like on the wife's like side of things where like they would go and see her family. I do remember some Christmas parties that I would go to for work, and I think that for the most part, those were probably more fun. But as far as like going to Christmas get-togethers, I don't really remember anything too much as an adult, honestly. I do remember us, and I don't know if we all went like at the same time. I feel like we did, and it might have been Christmas Eve. But when we would go to our grandmother's house, right? And we would all get gifts from our grandparents. And I feel like we were all there at the same time, like all the cousins and stuff. But I'm not 100% sure. Do you remember like that? I don't know.
Very, very
I
faintly
remember
when I was
more
very young.
of obviously where our grandma lived, right down, like literally down the same driveway one of her daughters lived, and they had their kid and she had her kids. And so we would go there, and then we lived like right down the road from her. So we would go there, and I do remember them, like those cousins. But I'm not sure if I remember much of your family being there. But I also know that time you guys were probably the furthest away. So I'm not sure, like, but yeah, I do remember those, and I don't know if I went to any. I might have went to one or two on my dad's side, and those were probably a little bit more uncomfortable for me because I didn't really know a lot of those people, and there's a lot of people in my family on that side that I just don't know, and my dad had a ton of siblings, and yeah, so those were a little weird, and I do get to that, like, you have to. There's like I'm not very family oriented. I think I've mentioned this in the past, and it kind of sucks. Like I kind of hate that about myself, but I'm just not. And then there's like that whole thing where you got to like pretend to like people if there are people,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's kind of any day that could happen. But during the holidays, you do meet, you do have to go visit people that you probably only see that time, right? That one time a year, and then you might not like them, or maybe when you're little, it's like there's always the joke that it's like the ants that are coming up and pinching you on the cheek. I don't really think that
Yeah.
that really happened too much in our family, but that's kind of like the joke and stuff. And I think that for the most part, that your mom and my mom, it seems like we're probably the closest out of all the siblings that they each had.
Yeah.
And so, that wasn't really a problem. And I think that like all the cousins liked each other. And like I said, I think we were talking about a little bit this like last week or maybe the week before when we were talking about relationships and stuff with family that like as cousins, when we were young, we didn't really hang out a lot. And that might have been proximity or that just might have been, whatever it was. But yeah, I did enjoy a couple of the work parties, but for the most part, I just don't like going out. So I just, and you were just talking about how, you go places and like beforehand you dread that. And that's a big part of anxiety with me is like if I dread it, I dread it so much to like I feel like I make it worse for myself by doing it when if I wish I would just not think about it at all, just go do it and then be back and be done with it. And I'd probably be like, okay, yeah, that wasn't so bad. But I think I caused my own
Yeah.
problems by thinking about it too much. But yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we want to get into some pop culture references in a minute. But first, I want to share some interesting facts about Christmas. All right. So, Tannenbaum. You've heard Tannenbaum, right? I'm sure you can decipher what this means when I say that there's the song Oh Tannenbaum. So do you know what Tannenbaum means? It's a German word.
I just know the Royal Tannenbaums.
Oh yeah, that's a movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a movie.
All right. Well,
That's actually all I
obviously, if
know.
I were to say there's a song called Oh Tannenbaum, then you probably would say, oh, Tannenbaum means what?
Santa Claus.
Christmas tree.
Santa Claus.
You're getting all your songs
Yeah.
mixed up today, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
So Tannenne is literally the translation from German to English is fur, and Baum is tree. So I guess it means fir tree, but just kind of interesting thing. Around 1.5. These are recent stats, by the way, and this is why I asked you about Christmas cards earlier. Around 1.5 billion Christmas cards are still sent out annually in the U.S. And I do wonder how many of those have an exposed body part, right? Like Elaine. Maybe it's just a few, but it might happen. In Hawaii, people refer to Santa as Kanakaloka. And I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's Kanakaloka. And this version of Santa Claus is usually not seen in the bright red suit, but instead wearing flowery Hawaiian clothes. So that's kind of cool. Tinsel. And this goes back to Germany kind of being like the country that started the whole Christmas tree. Right.
That sounds
Tinsel.
like a German word.
Yeah.
Tinsel.
Yeah, tinsel. It was created in Nuremberg, Germany in 1610. And at one point in history, it was even made out of real silver. So I don't know. Feels like that would cut a little bit. From 1659 to 1681, anyone caught making merry, that sounds like a sex thing, anyone caught making merry in the colonies would face a fine for celebrating. The Massachusetts Bay Colony created the penalty for keeping Christmas. It was thought that such festivals as were superstitiously kept in other countries and were a great dishonor of God and offense of others. The penalty for breaking the law was 5 shillings, which evidently at the time was about 12 pence or equal to about a quarter of a U.S. dollar in colonial times, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in colonial times, $1.25 is that's what you had to pay. That's probably quite significant.
It might be like your retirement.
Right, right. Your nest egg. In 1836, Alabama became the first state to recognize Christmas as a state holiday, with Arkansas and Louisiana following suit. But it wasn't until 1870 that President Ulysses S. Grant declared Christmas as a national holiday. So Christmas has only been a national holiday in the U.S. for about 155 years, which kind of seems long, but also seems short in a way. The original Santa Claus was actually St. Nicholas, a Christian bishop in the 4th century. He didn't wear the red suit that is famous today, but he did give all of his inheritance to the poor and needy. In Dutch, his name is Sinterklaas, spelled Sinterklaas, which later morphed into Santa Claus. And a couple of more for you here. Santa wasn't always the jolly man in red. I'm sure a lot of people know this. Older depictions of Santa from the early 1900s depicted him more sternly, and there wasn't a standardized look for his appearance. The classic image of a happy, plump Santa that we all know today came in part from Coca-Cola ads drawn 1931 by illustrator Haddon Sundblom. Hopefully I didn't butcher that name. Neglected, dried out Christmas trees spark about 260 fires in the United States each year, resulting in an average of 12 deaths, 24 injuries, and $16.4 million in property damage, according to the Electrical Safety Foundation. An additional 150 fires are started because of holiday lights and other decorative lighting, resulting in an average of 8 deaths, 16 injuries, and $8.9 million in property damage per year. So about 38 people die each year just trying to celebrate Christmas, and then another 40 are injured, and about $25 million in property damage is done. And then the final stat I have for you is the Consumer Product Safety Commission's most recent news release estimates that 14,700 people visit hospital emergency rooms each November and December from holiday-related decorating accidents, which is about 240 injuries per day. The most common accidents include falling, lacerations, and back strains. So what do you got to say about all that? Anything there that like kind of blew your mind a little bit, or maybe you didn't know?
Well, I think it checks out. I'm actually surprised that there's not more deaths around Christmas.
Right.
But we're not counting deaths from like choking on a big piece of Christmas ham.
From like Thanksgiving to
Diet.
Christmas, I would imagine. And I think there's a lot of heart attacks too.
Oh yeah.
Like around from
heart attacks,
eating.
yep, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So deaths from, what's the increase in car accidents that you get during peak times when people are doing Christmas commuting, holiday commuting?
Yeah, and maybe a peak maybe more, probably not. Maybe more plane crashes because there's so many planes in the air, they just like running into each other. Because they don't have a way to monitor that. There's no way.
And the pilots are all drinking like rum nog,
Yeah.
right? They're all drinking that like rum nog mixture, and you can't fly a plane like that.
Yeah.
So I get it.
Well, some can. I think they made a movie about it, but not all can. You're right. Not all can be drunk.
I'm drunk right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, before we get into like the pop culture, we're going to talk about holiday foods and drinks here in a second. But let's just talk about the nostalgia factor a little bit. Of kids versus adults. I know we kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but obviously there's a big difference between being a kid and celebrating Christmas and an adult celebrating Christmas. And there's an even bigger difference of being a kid celebrating Christmas and then being an adult either with kids celebrating a Christmas or an adult without kids celebrating Christmas. And there's definitely less stress, I would assume, on Christmas time for people who aren't parents, right? Because they're always trying to find like the right thing for their kid. And then we discussed earlier a little bit already how, like, I don't know how it was for you, but when I was a kid, I was getting up at like 5 and I'd be waking up my parents, and my parents would be like, a little longer, and then like finally they'd get up and you'd be so excited. And now I'm like, and now they were the ones like trying to get me up or something like later on when I was adult, like, hey, I was like, nah, let me sleep, So any kind of stories or any kind of insight on that from you, Mr. Branta Claus?
Yeah, I think that as an adult, I'm still excited for Christmas. Yeah, so my perspective is this, that I don't think my excitement for Christmas is actually like majorly, it might be a little bit less in a lot of, different ways. But I think that my reverence or the importance of sleep is much higher as an adult.
Oh yeah.
So that's where the offset comes from, is like, I want to have a good Christmas, which means I really should get like a certain amount of sleep so I can fully enjoy the day. If I get 3 hours of sleep on Christmas, it's like, it's not like a kid where I mean, there is a difference between like getting 3 hours of sleep as like a 9-year-old versus as maybe like a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
But the difference isn't obvious. The obvious difference is that a kid just operates better when they lose sleep.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's actually like, there's a deeper layer, whereas as an adult, I'm always constantly thinking about sleep because of work, obligations, social pressures. And so I'm always constantly on a razor's edge of not getting enough sleep. And as a kid, there's not as much of a razor's edge. There's more opportunities for you just to fall asleep wherever you are, taking a nap, or because things aren't scheduled out as much. And so yeah, as an adult, I just place a much higher importance on sleep. And that's why sleeping on Christmas night it's not because I'm way less excited for Christmas. It's also just that I need sleep. And I want sleep so that way I can have a good Christmas.
Yeah, and I feel like when you're a kid, like the excitability factor is so strong because I'm sure when you're a kid, like it doesn't matter. You can be that excitability is keeping you up. And then later on, you're probably just going to fall asleep anyways. Like there was probably a nap time, like when we were a kid, like, oh, okay, now we're going to go take a nap or whatever. Probably the parents probably
Yeah.
like looked forward to that because they had to get up early anyways. And, they might have been up till, and like as a kid, you're oblivious, right? So like they might have been up till 3 a.m., wrapping everything for you. And you're like, oh, who fuck cares? Just get up, But
Yeah.
then you kind of respect, obviously, a lot of that shit more when you become an adult and you're like, oh, yeah, this is actually pretty fucking hard. So, yeah, the nostalgia with Christmas is great. I mean, I do remember the good times and I like that. I liked it that's there. I really do respect the fact that you like the Christmas magic and that you keep that Christmas magic going. And I believe you did also that one time for one of your girlfriends when you sang a dick in a box to her. Then
Yeah.
yeah, and then you popped the box open and it was like a picture of Richard Nixon and she was very, very disappointed.
Yeah. Well, it was just, yeah. It was actually just a head in a box because I was trying to emulate
Richard Nixon's head?
Brad Pitt. No,
You were trying to
yeah.
emulate Seven, the movie Seven.
Yeah.
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 I got you.
Yeah, and she's, because she's going, what's in the box,
Right.
So
Right. Nothing to
It was-
do
it
with
was
the
a kind of a
Justin
mashup.
Timberlake Lonely Island song then of Dick in the Box.
Well, I mean, who's to say?
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Everybody loves a Christmas mashup. Is what I
Yeah,
was
it's
trying to
great.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I want to talk about, we're not going to do like a tier maker or like a battle bracket or anything, but I want to talk about some foods and drinks for like the holidays or Christmas. So I'm going to give you a set of 2 foods, and then I just kind of want your first instinct of what you
Okay.
like better. Okay. So I'm going to say turkey or ham.
Ham.
Okay. And is that specifically for Christmas or is that just in general too?
It's in general, although I think a turkey should be made on Thanksgiving,
Okay.
but that's a traditional choice and not a choice in quality of food.
Any specific type of ham, like a Smithfield, or does it matter?
No, I'm not real. I'm yeah, I don't have a specific brand or type, but I think that you can do ham. Good ham is good ham, and you know it when you see it.
So not like smoked ham or
So-
honey ham, or it doesn't really matter. You just like
Well, smoked ham on honey ham is good.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
mean, it could be any of those things, but if it's done well, then it's worthy.
all right. So ham over turkey. All right. Here's one: stuffing or potatoes.
Potatoes.
You're more of a potatoes fan than stuffing.
I like good stuffing. I really like actually quite a bit.
Okay.
But potatoes is goated. Potatoes is at the top. It's right behind the meat. It's like meat and potatoes.
And are you
have
specifically?
potatoes.
I guess I didn't really say specifically, but for you specifically, is it mashed potatoes? Then you're referring to?
Yeah, it's mashed potatoes, and there's got to be a gravy that
Right.
pairs well with the meat that you're eating.
Yeah. And is there flavor mashed potatoes probably not really matter because you're already putting the gravy on there anyways.
That's right. Yeah, you can go with a traditional. I like a more of a basic traditional, like buttered mashed potatoes that are just slightly seasoned. And and I like a little bit of. I don't like my potatoes to be completely mushy, like as if they were made from instant. I like a little bit of natural chunk texture in there.
Okay.
Still traditionally a mashed potato. Like nobody would disagree with that. But I just like there to be a little bit of like a potato skin that makes its way in there as well. And just kind of something that is like a heartier mashed potato. And then you got that gravy that you put on
What
top.
about a baked
which is
potato?
like if you're making a ham. Baked potato's okay.
Okay.
I prefer mashed potato, but a
No,
baked
I
potato's
definitely
pretty
do. I wouldn't eat any potatoes at my house just from past podcasting things that I've said.
good. Oh,
Yeah, probably wouldn't.
yeah,
Stay away from those. All right, cranberry sauce or sweet potatoes. And I'm going to tell
Sweet
you right now, I
potatoes.
hate both of these. But what do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go sweet potatoes, but I like a candied yam dish.
Mm.
If you're just saying sweet potato, it depends on how the sweet potatoes are prepared.
Right.
Cranberry sauce, I think, is one of those traditional things that I think that it's nice to have. This is another turkey ham situation
Right.
where I think it's good to have it for traditional reasons. But if I'm not eating it on my plate, that's not a big deal. I'm not really gonna miss it.
Gotcha. All right. Now I was debating on I'll do this first. I'll say fruitcake or pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie all day
All
long.
right. And then I guess what I'll say after that, because I probably should have put this on, is apple pie or pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie.
Okay. I'm actually with you on there. I do like Dutch apple pie where they have like those crisp stuff on the top and stuff. That's really good. But for me, like sometimes it's too many sweet apples. And sometimes it just feels like you're eating just a bunch of fucking caramelized apples in like a little bit of a pie crust. And pumpkin pie just has a better consistency. It goes much better with Cool Whip, and I just like it. Yeah, so I would be definitely on that. Gingerbread cookies or Christmas cookies, which I guess would be more like the sugar type cookies.
I think that I'm gonna say Christmas cookies.
I really like Christmas cookies. Like if they're made right and they're like, it's almost like they can't be hard, but they can't be like really soft. Like they're like in the middle and they got the frosting and all that. And they're really good. I really like them.
Yeah, I think that just a traditional like sugar Christmas cookie. I think that's a good choice.
Yeah, it's shaped like a Christmas tree or whatever. And yeah, it's good.
Yep.
All right. So the last one on this, eggnog or hot chocolate?
Eggnog.
I hate eggnog, so I'm going to disagree with you on that one.
I know.
I do like hot chocolate, but I probably wouldn't drink either. I don't really drink much of anything anyways, but all right. Well, so now we know what he would like ham, potatoes, and he probably doesn't really too care about, you said candied yams more than like, and I don't know what exactly is that sweet potato based or what is candy? Okay.
Yeah, it's sweet potato.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a sweet potato base. That's what it's like yams. I don't know. There's a distinction. I looked it up before and there's like an actual difference between yams and sweet potatoes. But like when you buy like canned yams or you're making like a candied yams, it's like always just sweet potatoes. So, and if you imagine like there's people in the South that like sweet potato pies, which is which is similar to like a pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
And so it does make a good sweet treat. You can make a good sweet treat with the sweet potato base.
Are marshmallows
it doesn't have like
involved at all?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, like brown sugar and butter on the inside with different seasonings, cinnamon, nutmeg, or whatever you want to put in there, and you want to bake that to like a good like caramelized glaze, kind of around the depending on how you make the candied yams.
Right.
And then on top, it's nice to toast a layer of marshmallows on top, and you get a whole nice.
I mean, it sounds good in theory, but there's just a lot. I just don't like sweet potatoes, so I don't know.
Well,
so I guess
I understand.
But so on your plate, you would have ham and potatoes and pumpkin pie and Christmas cookies and some eggnog, and
that sounds like a good little plate actually for Christmas. I mean, I'd like to put maybe like a Hawaiian roll on there with a little butter,
or like a veggie dish, or maybe like some people do like the chunk cheese, like cut up cheese slices. Is there any dishes? Because I know sometimes around Christmas or even Thanksgiving, and I suppose we could wrap that in there too, that like certain families or something will have like a traditional dish of something. It's always different. Is there anything out there that there's a dish out there that you want to kind of talk about that you really like, or maybe something I didn't mention that you would like, or was it pretty much all good?
There's an opinion of some people in my house that, and I can a little bit agree with this, that it's nice to have a mac and cheese side.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong, right?
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong. And if there is a good mac and cheese side, even really like just taking a basic like a Stouffer's frozen like mac and cheese, like a family pack, making that up, I'll put a scoop of that on my plate for sure. I would like to have a pickle spear on my plate. That's not bad. And
about like a pickle sword.
That's yeah, I could do that too. Actually, yeah.
Any type of animal,
a sword, a spear,
any type of animal, any type
dagger,
of weapon,
like a scimitar, like a a lance, whatever.
Gotcha.
Whatever it might
Excellent.
be. I thought you were gonna go, because I did all the layer one brackets. I thought you were gonna bracket it down until we got to like the one choice.
I mean, it's kind of tough.
I can already tell you
everything is so like different, right?
I can tell you what it is.
Okay,
though.
go ahead.
Yeah, but I can tell you what the number one choice is. It's pumpkin pie.
Oh, so out of everything, like if you were going to like your family's, like your mom's house or something, and she's like, you know what, we're only gonna do one thing this year. What is it, Brandon? And you'd be like, pumpkin pie. I don't even care about the meat. I'll just eat the pumpkin pie.
Yep.
And it'll be good.
Well, if you want me to say realistically, then I won't, because I'm going to say
Yeah.
pumpkin pie, because I think pumpkin pie is what we need to have. That's To me, that's what I look forward to. I love pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
I'll buy pumpkin pie like in July and just make one up
Oh
if
yeah,
I'm feeling
definitely.
like I want.
Do you buy
Yeah.
what's the one that Marie Callender's
Sara Lee.
or Sara Lee?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, or
Marie Callender's, Sara Lee. I'll get either
yeah,
one
they're
of
pretty.
those
Yeah, they're
pumpkin
all pretty
pies.
good. Yeah,
Yeah, they're both good.
yeah. Pumpkin pie, you can't like you just I don't know. I remember,
There's something about it. It's so good,
and
and it's
it's
easy to
it's such
make.
an American
Yeah.
thing because I remember I watch a lot of things on YouTube where it's like a lot of like usually people from like the UK or maybe from Australia or from other English speaking countries, but I'll watch them like talk about pumpkin pie and they're like, what? Like that's so gross. And you can get why they would say that because if they were to just grab a pumpkin for Halloween or something and dig it out and stuff and you look at all that
Yeah.
stuff and they're like, you fucking make a pie out of this? And it's like, yeah, it is weird, but once you have it, it's like the greatest thing, I feel like. And then I have seen a few try it and they're like, oh, now I get it. So it is kind of cool, but
Yeah.
it is interesting.
It's so good.
All right.
So good.
Let's just go ahead and ask. Let's get an answer for this from you and from me because this is going to be on everybody's mind because of this. This is our Christmas episode. Brandon, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yeah, it is.
It is. It is. It's on Christmas.
Yeah.
There's a Christmas party happening. It's in. I will tell you though that I looked up when it was released, and I was like, "Well, did they release it in Christmas?" They actually released it in July 22nd of 1988. But the way movies worked back then, that probably meant that at that time it would have been what, a VHS tape. That probably meant that the VHS came out where you could rent it right around Christmas, right? So it kind
Yeah.
of worked out in that matter where you could stay home. And I think that might be why a lot of people consider it a Christmas movie too, because I bet you a lot of people, their first experience watching Die Hard was renting it or whatever and bringing it home. And it was probably around that time that it was available. So
Yeah. What was the setting? The Die Hard, was that the setting inside the movie itself?
what do you mean?
That was that summertime as well?
The first one?
I'm trying to remember. Yeah.
No, I mean
No,
there
no,
was a
it's
Christmas
Christmas
party.
Eve. Yeah, it's a Christmas.
Yeah, there was a Christmas party.
Okay.
It was his
Yeah.
wife's Christmas party, remember? And then Hans takes over the Christmas party, and John McClane just happens to be there, and
Yeah. It's a Christmas movie all day
it's a
long.
Christmas movie. We will take that one to the bank. If anybody wants to argue with us, please comment below on whether Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not, because I think that's that's like is a hot dog a sandwich debate. I think it's just as hot as that debate. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to list off some Christmas movies and I'm going to see if there's any here that you've seen or that you like, or maybe you've got a favorite. All right. So, and there's not a very long list. So I've got It's a Wonderful Life, Miracle on 34th Street, A Christmas Story, Home Alone, Elf, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which I just rewatched a couple of days ago, The Nightmare Before Christmas, The Polar Express, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Bad Santa. Oh, I love that movie. Jingle All the Way, and the Santa Claus. Is there any? I don't know how many Christmas movies you've actually watched or how I'm not really that into Christmas movies, but I do feel like around this time, like if I see one, I'm like, okay, I'll watch it because I guess tis the season, right? So, are there any on there that stand out that you like, or
Yeah, well,
or maybe
some
something
obvious
that's not
ones.
on the list?
Well, I think Home Alone is a classic.
Yeah, definitely.
In my sort of immediate family, I think A Christmas Story seems to be one that everybody always wants to watch, or that it always ends up being on.
Yeah,
in the
that's the
background.
one where he gets the gun, the BB gun or something, right? Or the Red Ryder BB
Yeah.
gun, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And so that one's a classic. I don't get into like scary Christmas movies. So like, what would you list? Like Nightmare on Elm Street or something like that? Is that?
No, that's The Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's not really. It's
Oh,
a Tim
yeah.
Burton.
That's right.
What is
That's
it like?
right.
What kind of animation was that back then? I can't remember what they called that. Was that? It was very different.
Yeah, like
Tim
stop
Burton
motion.
obviously has his own style of things. He even did like a couple of the Batmans back then. But I just thought I'd list it because when it came up, when I was looking these up, it actually came up as one of the higher ranked Christmas movies. But it does look like it's kind of creepy for a kid. Like it's like skeleton people and stuff. And I can't remember exactly even what it's
Yeah.
about, but.
Yeah. It feels more like a Halloween movie than a Christmas movie, which is one of the themes in the movie itself, which is that they're Halloween people that wanted to take over
Okay,
Christmas.
that's what it is. Okay, yeah. All right. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I couldn't remember exactly what the plot was. What about a lot of people bring up Elf, and a lot of people bring up, obviously, Jim Carrey's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. People bring up that one. And
Yeah, I'm more of a fan of the classic cartoon.
Okay, The Grinch, yeah.
Yeah, The Grinch.
And then, of course, when we were talking about 90s movies back a few episodes back, you brought up Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who was the other guy in that movie? Was that Tom Arnold or was that somebody else? Or am I thinking of a different movie? No, I think I'm the different movie.
Well, they were in True Lies,
That's probably what I'm thinking of, though.
but Jingle All the Way might have had Tom Arnold.
There was
in
a
it.
guy he was specifically trying to get it was like a battle. Maybe I should go back and watch that.
Jingle All the Way, yeah.
Been a while.
So Sinbad was in it?
Oh, wow. But that wasn't the guy. That wasn't the guy he was.
Phil Hartman.
Phil
Is it
Hartman.
Phil
Oh,
Hartman?
gosh, that brings back another guy we lost too soon. Man, we're gonna have to do. I don't know how much you remember from SNL in the 90s, but I feel like trending on our 90s theme that at one point we might look at some SNL stuff from the 90s because I feel like for our generation that was like the best, because that's kind of how SNL works. It's like whatever generation it is when you're growing up.
Yeah.
All right. So any other movies that you want to discuss or talk about, or did we basically?
I think we went over the core ones. Yeah, like the what was the first? The Christmas, A Christmas Story or something like that. It was one of the earlier ones that you read
Right,
off.
and probably the earliest is It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. I think my mother's favorite Christmas movie.
I
It's
think
a
that's
Wonderful Life.
Jimmy
I always
Stewart,
found
right?
it-
Like that's
Yeah,
like old.
I always found it to be a slog to get through.
Yeah,
Even though I recognize that it's a classic and there are people out there that love it, but every time I try to watch it, I'm always amazed at how long the movie seems to drag on. And sometimes I'll be like, are we still watching the same movie that was on 2 hours ago?
Right.
And it's like, so
it's tough. It's I was just rewatching the first Godfather like a couple of months back, and I actually had realized while I was watching it that I'd never actually watched it all the way through, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, when I'm watching a movie, I'm hitting the remote and I'm seeing like how much time is gone or how much time is left. And I'm like, good God, this is like a 2.5-hour movie. And I feel like as I get older, I start neglecting movies that are longer than like a certain amount because I'm like, oh God, it's going to be this long. It really got to be good to like capture my attention. Do you find that happening?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have that problem, but I don't know if it's just from getting older or if it's from like the TikTokification of my brain.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to the point where like I've been watching a live feed before, like on my computer. I'm so used to watching YouTube videos and clicking the arrows on my keyboard to quickly fast forward and jump forward through sections.
Right.
And I've been watching stuff that's live before and then tried to fast forward it.
Yeah.
And to be like, all right, this part's boring, I'm gonna do it. But which is really funny. But I also do that sometimes. I try not to do it on movies, but sometimes I have the urge when I'm watching a movie to fast forward through a part. And I'm talking about a movie that I've never even seen before.
Wow.
But it's a scene
so you don't
where two
even
people are
know like
talking.
what you're fast forwarding through technically then.
Exactly. But I'm like, they're talking and it's like I already know what the scene's about and I just want to get through it. Or like I don't need to see the rest of this like sex scene in this movie. Like I want to like,
you're
this
fast
guy's gonna
forwarding
shoot
through the
somebody with a
sex
gun.
scenes, huh? Damn.
Well, I mean, it depends on what kind of movie you're watching.
I guess
but
you're
yeah,
right,
sure. Yeah.
Do you think that there's going to be people like how your mom and other older people talk about like It's a Wonderful Life and maybe even A Miracle on 34th Street? Because I think that originally came out in the 1940s. Do you think there's going to be people talking about like How the Grinch Stole Christmas and Elf like that way, like about those movies like 50 years from now? They're going to be like, oh yeah, it's like the greatest classic movie, Elf, with Will Ferrell as an elf. Do you think people are going to be?
I think so. I think that it's possible. Yeah.
Gonna be weird.
I don't know. Yeah, especially those two. I mean, like Elf and A Christmas Story. Yeah, I think they could. I think 100 years from now or 50 years from now, they're gonna be classics, and they're gonna talk about them that way.
Yeah, and now I feel like there's so many Christmas movies, right? Like if you were to get a list of Christmas movies, it'd just be like in the thousands, and you'd be like, I don't know half of these, and some are weird, and some are just love stories, and that's why we like Die Hard, everybody. Probably out of everything we just listed, I'm sure that you would agree. I would say I actually like Die Hard better than all those movies, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I'll even fast forward through parts of Die Hard, if I'm being honest.
Well, you've seen it though. That's a little different though.
That's because I've seen it.
Like
yeah.
you'll go through.
It's
those.
a bad habit though. Still,
I mean, I will go, and this is kind of getting off topic, and I think we were going to have a time where we were going to talk about some Marvel movies, but I will rewatch Endgame. Is Endgame the last one of that phase? That third phase or whatever it was.
Avengers
Yeah.
Endgame? I believe
I
so, yeah.
will. I didn't really like Endgame that much. I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but I actually think Infinity War was better than Endgame because I hate all the time travel shit. It's like, oh, we got to go do this and this and this. And then really the best part of the movie for me is like near like the end, not like when it's the big fucking scene, right? Where they're all fighting Thanos again. And so I will literally watch just that scene. I will fast forward through the whole fucking movie, watch just that scene until Tony Stark dies. Oops, sorry if I gave you a spoiler alert on a 6-year-old movie. But until Tony Stark dies, and then I'm just like, all right, I'm satisfied. I'll watch it again in a year or something. And that's all it is. But I'll do that a lot in movies.
Yeah.
Just certain parts. Or even like Lord of the Rings or something. I'll be like, I've seen this movie so much that I just want to go to the battle scenes. And I just want to see the battles again.
Yeah, let's just see like "You Shall Not Pass" one more time.
Right. That's all. That's just the cool lines and some of the things. All right. I think the last thing we'll talk about before we get out of everybody's faces and let them enjoy the rest of their Festivus is let's talk about Christmas cartoons because you were just talking about the Grinch Stole Christmas, or how the Grinch Stole Christmas cartoon. So out of these 5 cartoons, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, A Charlie Brown Christmas, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Is there any one of those that holds truer to your heart than the others?
Yeah, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is at the top.
Yeah.
The next one is Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah.
And then the third one would be, I think, probably the Grinch.
Do they still because they would always show those on like regular network channels, usually somewhere I don't know if it was like a week before Christmas. I remember as a kid, like it would always like, okay, we're gonna watch this. They still do that? Do you know? Like I don't really watch a lot of live TV anymore, so I don't know.
I think they probably do, but they don't need to. I mean, anybody can just pull those up whenever they want.
Right.
Sure,
I'm assuming those are on like even the simplest like streaming like apps and things. You could just go and be like, oh, I have Netflix, so I'll watch it on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever it is. And you could probably just do it. But
no, there's did you say Charlie Brown Christmas?
Yeah, I did
by the
say
way?
Charlie Brown Christmas.
Yeah, I know that one's up there. That one doesn't have a strong nostalgia factor for me, but I do recognize it as, one of those Christmas cartoons that are part of
I could see why as a kid it wouldn't be high up on a lot of people's lists because I think the whole point of a Charlie Brown Christmas is they're literally referring to the commercialization of Christmas and how they don't like that, right? And so and as a kid, like that probably doesn't really resonate. Like you're probably like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like whatever.
Yeah.
But as an adult, you can be like, oh shit, like that was in like what the 60s or something like that when it came out. And like Charles Schultz was like on it. Like he knew then that like it was commercialized and it's crazy. But all right. Well, that was interesting and fun. We celebrated Festivus a little bit with, our airing of Grievances and the Feats of Strength. Of course, Brandon ripped off Polar Bear's arms, which was wonderful. We have it on tape somewhere, but it's gone. And we had a pop quiz that Brandon did fairly well on, but to be fair, it was a little bit tougher than normal. And I think the airing of Grievances, that might be a segment that we could do, not just for Festivus. I think that could be done on this podcast every once in a while. I think it'd be great just to get all our disappointments out, let people know.
Tear it out.
Yeah, so I think it was a good episode. Did you enjoy it? And is there any other things you want to say to the people out there?
I enjoyed the episode. I had fun. I'm glad I got to air my grievances. I have a lighter weight on my shoulders right now. I hope everybody has a great Christmas, and I hope that they have plenty of pumpkin pie.
Me too, man. Send us a pumpkin pie if you want. That'd be great. All right, for the Socially Awkwards podcast, I am Mac Frost. He is Brandon Claus. This is Christmas, and of course, there's always a Festivus for the rest of us. Everybody have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.